Coming up on AgweekTV, corn and soybeans are taking center stage as harvest wraps up. We'll take you to a unique North Dakota business that processes flax and other specialty crops, and now hemp. And questions are being raised about missing and dead animals near the Dakota Access Pipeline Protest. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Shauna Olson. As harvest wraps up around the region, we're getting a better picture of the bottom line. It looks like corn and soybeans are the big winners this year. We begin with Jonathan Knutson.
Soybeans are one of the area's most popular crops. They're especially popular this fall thanks to outstanding yields in much of the area. We talked today with one soybean farmer who enjoyed a tremendous harvest.
Imagine if we were looking at average yields this year. I mean, what if we would have got 45 bushel wheat instead of 60? Even on the canola, we ended up 2,200 pounds, something like that. What if we had 1,500? And so I think that to get these good yields, it is going to make the difference for a lot of people, and I think for me included.
But crops, maybe soybeans might end up being the most profitable at this point? Or?
I would guess so. But like I said, we'll see how the corn comes in.
Last year, Huso's yields were hurt by too little rain in August. This year, in contrast, too much August rain hurt some soybean fields not far from his farm.
I feel very blessed to have the yields that we've had, considering not too far away. It's going to be soybeans aren't going to be the savior for some people up there.
Yields on lighter, sandier ground were really good for Huso. That's true elsewhere too.
I mean, down towards Cooperstown, in some of that area, Binford over there, some sandier ground, they've got some pretty high soybean yields.
Not all soybean farmers had a good crop this year, but those who did will have a little less financial pain. For Ag Week, I'm Jonathan Knutson.
Lifelong farmers are calling this their best corn crop ever. Ty Philly checks in from the Hillsboro, North Dakota area.
It's a busy time of year for corn growers like Tim Kazette from Hillsboro. North Dakota's 400+ million bushels
it's some big numbers.
Aren't going to harvest themselves.
I mean, it's numbers that we've never seen before.
What's causing the huge corn crop?
I think really it's Mother Nature.
Farmers say the especially rainy, humid summer months
The quality of the grain is really good this year.
mean more corn come October and November. Thanks to the great growing conditions, North Dakota's corn production is expected to be up as much as 30% over last year. In 2015, North Dakota harvested 327 million bushels. This year, the USDA is projecting well over 400 million.
We've seen farmers that are anywhere from 20 to 50 bushels per acre better than their previous record crops that they've had.
And there could be upwards of another 35% over and above what we're usually seeing.
Kazette says with corn prices low, many farmers needed the record yield.
Really helped a lot of people. There's two things that we get paid on, and it's bushels and price.
Historic crops are great for farmers and consumers alike. Ethanol producers say a steady corn supply could mean shelling out less at the pump. Gasoline is usually cut with corn-based fuel.
Again, we're one of the cheapest molecules you can put in your fuel tank. Right now, I'm selling my ethanol for $1.50 a gallon.
While farmers are hopeful projections hold true, for now,
It's been a grind.
it's time to continue harvesting.
Nationwide, the USDA is expecting a record 15 billion bushels to be harvested. Sugar beet growers for Mindak Farmers Co-op Wahpeton saw another record year, but that means 12% of the crop will be left in the field. Mindak told shareholders there will be no toll agreement with other processors for its excess beets, so farmers are harvesting 88% of their contracted acres. Mindak's total crop is 3.25 million tons, up from the 3.1 million ton record set in 2010. About 448,000 tons of beets will be left in the field. This week's Crop Stop takes us to south central Minnesota, where soybeans are the star this year. Most fields in the Wilmer area had good yields. Some were too wet, but overall, crops were some of the best they've ever seen.
Overall, this year was a tremendous year. Wheat was above average, but excellent protein this year. Corn and soybeans both are coming out extremely strong. Sugar beets are doing very well. Was suffering on the sugar a little bit. The excess rainfall did make it a challenge, and some fields did suffer because of especially the August rainfall that we had. So we had about 10 inches in August, and that really hurt some areas.
Fussy says they're going into the winter with excess subsoil moisture, which could be a problem in the spring. South Dakota finally had some cooperative weather this week for harvest. Rain has kept many out of the fields in the southeast, so corn and soybean harvest is behind schedule. But as Michelle Rook reports, the harvest is also being slowed by extra bushels.
Farmers here in South Dakota are harvesting another big crop this year, but the season hasn't been without its challenges. In the southeast, it started with planting delays, and now a wet fall has turned this into one of the latest soybean harvest seasons many farmers can remember.
So we're just kind of having a reflection of what happened this spring with being 10 days to 14 days behind, and that's kind of about where we're at right now with the soybean crop.
Despite that, farmers like Jim Petrick have been pleasantly surprised with yields that are slightly above average.
On this neck of the woods here, soybean yields have probably run from 45 to as much as 70 bushels an acre, so pretty solid.
With the delayed soybean harvest, many farmers switched to corn, and even with some drowned out spots, corn yields are at or above average.
We've taken out some where your drainage is a nicer layout for it, and you get in the plus 200s there.
In contrast, harvest has been running ahead of normal in northeast South Dakota, with most soybean yields above average, despite hot, dry growing conditions.
Even with the dry June and July here, we had a lot of beans in the high 40s to mid 50s, so it was a real pleasant surprise.
And even his cornfields that were hit by hail are yielding above what he expected.
We've had anywhere from 90 to 190 here on our farm, and the high end of that is way above our average, so it's very nice to see that.
So while South Dakota farmers won't beat last year's record production, despite all the challenges, they may be close. I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Week.
Up next on AgweekTV, the search for answers about missing and dead animals near the Dakota Access Pipeline Protest.
Oh no, look out! Oh.
You kids stay in the car. I'll be right there. Honey, I'm gonna need my Carhartts.
When you pull on a set of Carhartt Extremes from Home of Economy, it's like wrapping yourself in a suit of armor, which can come in handy because sometimes being a parent feels more like being a superhero, and battling the elements is just another part of the job. Find your Carhartt Extremes at the guaranteed lowest price, only at Home of Economy, where your dollar buys more.
Don't miss the large Lifetime Toy Collection Marvin Schneider Retirement Auction, Saturday, November 12th at 9:30 a.m. at the Dalton Community Event Center in downtown Dalton, Minnesota. Collection of over 500 toys including pedal tractors and cars, farm tractors and equipment, and an amazing collection of vintage trucks. See the online catalog for full listing and all photos. Live on site with live simulcast online bidding. Go to osnisauctions.com for registration. Presented by United Country and Osnis Auctioneers, your high-performance auction team, a tradition of excellence and leadership.
Commitment. You need it to succeed on the farm. It's total dedication to the land, family, and community. It's more than a way to make a living. It's a way of life. You've had it since the first time you ran your hands through the soil, helped bale hay, or rode along in the combine. Your commitment. It's as strong as your family's trust, as honest as each long day you put in, and as pure as the opportunity that comes with every tomorrow. It's how we build our bins. With proven design, superior structural integrity, a lifetime warranty, and a promise to stand with you, no matter what storms come your way. The harvest will always be protected, so you can sell when it's right for you, your family, and your farm. Commitment. It's why we can say, there's nothing standard about superior.
Advanced Grain Handling is the original dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency, drying all types of grains including seed grain. A family-owned company, Advanced Grain Handling, has licensed and trained service techs on hand whose #1 focus is service. They also sell service monitoring systems, do millwright work, and have a licensed electrical shop. Contact Chad today at Advanced Grain Handling Systems, 701-788-8927.
The killing and wounding of cattle and horses is one of the most emotionally charged incidents associated with the Dakota Access Pipeline Protests in Sioux and Morton counties in North Dakota. Authorities are investigating, but the facts in the situation are hard to pin down. Rancher Jack Thomas says protesters from the Sacred Stone camp adjacent to his land are responsible. But Ladonna Brave Bull, who started the camp, says she's skeptical about the killings. Mikkel Pates traveled to Standing Rock to investigate.
We lost 7 cows and 2 horses so far.
Rancher Jack Thomas has lived in the Cannonball area all his life, and he says he's never had anything happen to his livestock before the Dakota Access Pipeline Protests started.
We're still missing 20 to 25 cows, and we don't know where they're at. They ain't accounted for, and we can't find anything.
Thomas says he doesn't have any suspicions about who did it. The brand inspector and county sheriff and even the FBI are investigating.
The only concern I got is with my livestock. It's my livelihood. That's what I take care of my family with, and that's what we survive on, and that's all I want is them to leave things alone.
Ladonna Brave Bull Allard owns the land Thomas is leasing for his cattle. It's adjacent to the Sacred Stone camp, which she also started. In July, she asked the BIA to cancel Thomas's lease because her family plans to develop a cultural camp there.
The cattle has never been in my camp. They have never come down into the camp. They are on top of the hill in the land. They are in the road.
Brave Bull says she runs a peaceful prayer camp with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And she says most people there are vegetarians, so would not be slaughtering animals for food anyway.
No offense to anybody, but most of the people at my camp are non-Indians. Majority are city dwellers. They are not the type of people that go out and kill and butcher animals.
Can you think of why someone would report missing cattle if they didn't have missing cattle?
I have no idea.
Mikkel will have much more on this story in Monday's AgWeek magazine. Will the weather hold on as harvest wraps up? Your agri-weather forecast is next. And later, we'll show you how hemp and flax are being turned into healthy food ingredients.
For home delivery of AgWeek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
Time to demand more. With Micro Essentials, you get more from every acre. Through our fusion technology, only Micro Essentials combines 4 vital nutrients into 1 powerful granule, ensuring uniform nutrient distribution and increased nutrient uptake. The innovation behind our fusion technology means you'll grow stronger, healthier plants. Micro Essentials. Get more from every acre.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Pronovost snowblowers, just what you need. Lots of standard features and 33 models available in the colors you want. The high level of manufacturing and performance standards assures you of owning the superior, most advanced equipment. Snowway is the leader in designing snowplows with a big appetite for snow. Whether you're seeking a snowplow for your truck, skid steer, or UIV, Snowway has a highly engineered snowplow to fit your needs with a variety of options. For Pronovost snowblowers or Snowway snowplows, contact your nearest dealer or North Country Marketing.
There is very little more glorious than the beauty of a Northland winter. For many around the legendary Northwoods town of Ely, Minnesota, there's no better way to experience this beauty than behind a working team of dogs. Come along as we embrace the old ways and trek into the frozen backcountry of northeast Minnesota in search of multi-species trout, and a much deeper appreciation of winter's majesty in our Northland outdoors.
Advanced biofuel for America's diesel engines is clean burning and made from renewable sources like soybean oil. Biodiesel fuel works in any diesel engine, reducing emissions, helping us breathe cleaner air. Biodiesel adds value to North Dakota soybeans, creating jobs, improving the environment, increasing our energy independence. Biodiesel, it starts with soybeans, it's fueling America.
Weather portion of Ag Week now as we get on into the fall season's third month. The month of November begins. It's still a warm weather pattern for most of the agricultural sections of the United States, Northern Plains, Corn Belt in particular. At least it's gone a little bit less rainy for the time being. No real winter weather into the United States yet. It has snowed in Alaska. Other than that, stray flurries and mountain snows, but nothing really into any part of the Farm Belt. But there are some signs that before winter is over that our weather pattern will be turning. Now, as we've gone through the fall season so far, first of all, obviously, most of the Northern Plains, upper Midwest has been wet. But for the purposes of this particular outlook, it's also been mild. With the jet stream, all of its meanderings, it has still mostly stayed pretty far north of the United States, and that has kept much of the lower 48 into a generally warm weather pattern. A lot of records, a lot of near records, a lot of consistently mild weather through September and October. Up in Canada, it has been much cooler, although not unusually cool at all, just a little more typical, but Canada has not seen any Arctic air either. But it has been cold enough for snow. As of late this past week, the white shaded areas are where there is snow on the ground. And as you can see, it's not that many 100 miles north of the United States, but it's up there. Interestingly enough, the snow has actually gone very deep up in Siberia. There's been a train of deep low pressure systems which have worked up through the Bering Sea and into the Arctic Ocean. I talked about this last week. Circulation around that has pushed a lot of moisture-laden air off the widely melted Arctic Ocean across Siberia, which has provided some deep snow cover, and that in turn has created the scenario for some very cold temperatures across Siberia. But before you panic, that's not coming our way just yet. For the next couple of weeks, the pattern will likely remain quite mild, but as we get toward late November, it is apparent and likely that the jet stream will switch positions and we will get some pretty cold weather our way. Meantime, this week, split flow in the jet stream. The cold weather is way up north. We're looking at some pretty dry weather. One area of significant rain will move out of Texas toward the Mississippi River Valley and hang out and produce some heavy rainfall. Also, the Pacific Northwest looks fairly wet. We'll stay mostly warm and dry across the Northern Plains and fairly mild throughout the Corn Belt as well as we go through the week. Into the second week, November 13th through 19th, there will be a gradual shift, but we're not really going to see the Arctic air coming down just yet. It will still be warm and dry across most of the U.S. So here's what we're talking about. Early November, mild weather continues. At least it's not so rainy, but winter is coming probably in about 3 weeks or so.
If you get right down to it, what's a farmer's job? Well, farmer's job is to feed people. Farmers collectively, our job is to feed the world. At Peterson Farm Seed, we get to have a little bit bigger picture right in our region. We get to help those farmers that we work with increase their productivity, increase the yields that they get on their farms, and as a result, more people can eat.
Upgrade your trailer to electric with the Rolltech electric system from AgriCover. Strong, flexible pivot arms and motor mount rotate and telescope, allowing the roll tube to rise and flex over heaped loads. The positive automatic lock is impossible to back off to control the flow of grain. This integrated system uses one wireless remote to operate up to 10 tarps and hoppers, keeping your driver out of the dust, rain, and harm's way. See the Rolltech system in action at an AgriCover dealer near you.
There is very little more glorious than the beauty of a Northland winter. For many around the legendary Northwoods town of Ely, Minnesota, there's no better way to experience this beauty than behind a working team of dogs. Come along as we embrace the old ways and trek into the frozen backcountry of northeast Minnesota in search of multi-species trout and a much deeper appreciation of winter's majesty in our Northland outdoors.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted, AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580.
Field Drainage Inc. has perfected the art of agricultural drainage by helping hundreds of farmers since 1978. We are a second-generation family-owned business for over 35 years. The Field Drainage Inc. team will work closely with you to conduct a thorough analysis of your needs and expectations, provide an estimate that fits your budget, perform all work in a timely and professional manner, and provide continued service after installation. Field Drainage Inc., your trusted drain tile installation company for over 35 years.
North Dakota's first industrial hemp crop is harvested and ready to be processed. The entire crop is going to one location. Our Ag Week crew headed to Carrington, North Dakota to see how the product will be turned into healthy food.
It's probably about 280 degrees in the fall.
Roger Gushis owns Healthy Oilseeds in Carrington, North Dakota. He's ready and equipped to process the 80,000 pounds of hemp raised this season in the state. He normally processes specialty oilseed like flax and borage. 80% of his business gets exported to about 18 different countries.
Our most popular product is probably getting to be flaxseed oil, golden flaxseed oil. We do a lot of that.
That's what he's processing here. The flax is mechanically pressed. Out comes the meal, or the cake, and the oil. In the next room, it's a different process. Roger, what's going on in here?
We're doing milling in this room here. We're producing a flax flour, either from brown flax or from golden flax, and it's going to be used as a bakery ingredient for either bread or any type of baked goods.
Gushis says he'll soon wrap up this flax and move on to the hemp. I see them all the hemp in bags and ready to rock and roll here.
This is some of it. We have some stored in some benzo too, but this is a fairly large amount in tote bags.
Gushis grew a portion of the crop himself.
It's nice hemp and beautiful hemp, and it came off very clean. Ours came off at 99% purity, which was excellent.
Hemp has thousands of uses, including food, so I decided to try it as is.
I think it tastes great.
Oh yeah. Very earthy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
The last stuff I had was covered in chocolate, so I couldn't get a real good sample.
If we roast it, putting it on a salad, I think you'll really like that.
Gushis has plans for this crop other than eating it plain, though.
Hemp will be processed quite very, very similar to this. Maybe some little bit of tweaks with the machines, small little adjustments, but that's it. And it's about the same thing. We plan on doing crushing some of it for oil, hemp oil, and then we're going to have the byproduct of the hemp cake or the hemp meal, and then that we're probably going to produce a flour out of that. Plus also we'll just do whole crushing of hemp seed for flour, and then we also will do some roasting of hemp seed and market in different ways.
Some of the hemp will be exported and some will stay in the U.S.
One of the companies I work with, they want to start producing a hemp pancake.
Oh.
Hemp pancake mix anyway.
Gushis started Healthy Oilseeds in 2002, but this is the first time he's processed hemp. Still ahead on AgweekTV, even in a tough ag economy, the experts say there are plenty of jobs available.
There is very little more glorious than the beauty of a Northland winter. For many around the legendary Northwoods town of Ely, Minnesota, there's no better way to experience this beauty than behind a working team of dogs. Come along as we embrace the old ways and trek into the frozen backcountry of northeast Minnesota in search of multi-species trout and a much deeper appreciation of winter's majesty in our Northland outdoors.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you the next Grand Forks area equipment and truck auction will be indoors at the Alaris Center November 22nd. Now is the best time to turn no longer needed units into working capital before year end. Our auctions always feature strong marketing, online bidding, and great facilities. We deliver strong equipment knowledge and are known for the best regional returns. Decades of knowledge, steady innovation, and top results. The auction is November 22nd and the ad deadline October 25th. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
United Lease and Finance has been doing business since 1987, a full-service lease company handling lease transactions from inception to close. United Lease and Finance understands the needs of their clients and are familiar with the business they work with. With leasing, you get flexible payment plans, improved cash flow, great rates, easy terms, and leasing does not tie up your credit. Contact Roger, Troy, or Dale today and let them show you how you can lower your cost per acre at 1-800-550-1827.
Premier Shortline USA is your dealer for Meridian storage and grain handling. 50 years ago, Meridian Manufacturing designed the first smooth wall hopper bin. This innovation set the standard for hopper bins across North America, completely self-cleaning with no obstructions. Smooth wall hopper bins have become the preferred choice for safe and efficient storage. For temporary grain storage to complete systems, contact Nate or Brent at Premier Shortline USA.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? Agweek magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. Agweek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. Agweek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580. Volatility in the markets, the increasing size of farms, and rapidly developing technology are some of the big changes farmers are facing. But those are also leading to more career opportunities for young people interested in ag. That was the message to a group of students at tomorrow's Top Hands. It's an event sponsored by the North Dakota Stockmen's Association. This year's theme was the Ag Employment Outlook. Although things have slowed down some in the current ag economy, experts say there will always be good jobs in the ag sector.
We still are going to have to figure out how to feed a growing population, and technology changes all the time, and farmers just can't do it by themselves. So there's all these service sector jobs that are still going to be there. The ag industry is still a really good place to find jobs.
I think the young people should start looking more globally than regional and start looking at other things in agriculture, because not just with the cows or the hogs or the dairy, there's other things in agriculture.
Miller says there are about 20,000 more open ag jobs than ag graduates. Well, thanks for joining us for this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.